Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel to discuss and explain the exciting storyline of your favorite series, SwallowedStar episode 179. In the previous episode, we saw Luo Feng preparing for his journey to the extraterritorial battlefield, such as integrating Shi Wu's wings into the golden-horned behemoth and forming an army of king beetles. During the registration period, Luo Feng earned the title of Elite World Master, making him the target of teams in the 26th camp area of the 7th battlefield. Along with Yan Shi, Luo Feng eventually joined Tai Wo's team, and on their way to the Shattered Star location, they immediately became targets of the automaton race. What happens next? This time, there will be plenty of battle scenes, so get ready. Alright, let's dive into the story. While Tai Wo's team was joking around inside the ship, Luo Feng and his team suddenly received a warning that they would be attacked by lasers in 2 seconds. The incident unfolded swiftly and unexpectedly, leaving no room for avoidance. Although the ship they were using wasn't destroyed, the attack caused it to be flung far away, tumbling and colliding with several asteroids before finally crashing into one of the space debris. Taking action, Tai Wo ordered all his members to prepare for battle. After they exited the ship's cabin, he was certain that the attack would not stop there. Du Yao relied on Amo, his green plant, Mei Nu, a mental master armed with a sharp sickle, and Luo Feng, wearing Yanshan armament, with Wei as his beast tamer, fighting melee combat accompanied by his cat. Yan Shi, clad in yellow armadillo armor with a super large tail, and Captain Tai Wo, a close-range fighter wielding a sword imbued with the power of law. Right after they came out, several planets in the area began to release hidden devices, unleashing lightning energy that connected with each other, forming a lightning barrier that trapped Tai Wo's team inside. This trap is known as the Thunder Prison. Wei remembered that this type of trap mechanism was often used by the machine race, which meant that the attacker was from that race. Worried that the enemy would launch another well-planned attack, Tai Wo asked his members to move immediately and find a way out of Thunder Prison. Pilati was an immortal-level machine race figure of the Marquis rank who had launched the attack at that time. He was alone, but he had thousands of E9-level automaton puppets as troops he could use to assault his opponents. In terms of strength and physical endurance, the E rank is equivalent to a world master. Immediately after Pilati activated the thousands of E9 automaton puppets, he deployed them all from various planetary debris to surround Tai Wo's team. The automaton puppets were perfectly suited for use with the Thunder Prison, as they could absorb the power released by its mechanisms. In terms of movement and flexibility, the automaton puppets are slower and stiffer compared to human warriors. That's why Tai Wo instructed his team to move at high speed and continue searching for an escape route from the Thunder Prison. As the leader, Tai Wo moved to the front to guide his members in finding a way out. Not letting his prey escape, Pilati activated a tactical movement formation in which the puppets moved in a box-shaped net formation while continuously being energized by lightning, making their movements much faster so they could catch up with Tai Wo's team. When they managed to catch up with Tai Wo's team, the automaton puppets spread out into several groups, then began concentrating the lightning energy from the Thunder Prison into a net, which they used to immobilize Tai Wo's team. Before the enemy's tactic could immobilize Luo Feng and his friends, Tai Wo unleashed an explosion of power, causing a tear in space around the Thunder Net. After the Thundernet disappeared, they managed to escape the enemy's initial attack plan. However, Tai Wo felt that the battle ahead would not be easy, as they were surrounded by thousands of automaton puppets. In the end, Unable to escape the pursuit, they had to fight inside the Thunder Prison, though the outcome would not be advantageous for Taiwo's team. Meanwhile, Du Yao suggested they should just fight. After all, once they reached their destination, they would end up fighting anyway. So before fighting there, they would fight here first. While Taiwo's team took up a battle stance, for Pilati it was his moment to catch fish. The Taiwo team itself consists of 1 immortal and 4 world masters. If using a supercomputer to calculate the outcome of the battle, Pilati would only lose 27% of the total automaton puppets he brought. That's why he'll immediately attack the Taiwo team, whom he believes he can handle with just a little effort. Meanwhile, Taiwo, the team captain who had reached the immortal level, took the initiative and launched the first attack, cutting down the approaching automaton puppets. Mainu followed suit, using her mental weapon to wipe out enemies before they could get close to her. Long-range combat was also seen from Du Yao, whose green plants could extend for hundreds of meters. Wei, the taming beast, as seen, did most of the fighting against enemies with his cat. In the battle, he activated the first form, Giant Cat, which made his cat grow large. He then activated the second form, Haste of Giant, which made his cat move quickly. Meanwhile, Luo Feng and Yanxi, the new members who were casually participating in the battle, were asked by Du Yao to attack the weak points on the automaton puppet's body using their great strength. This was the fastest method to destroy the automaton puppet. After gaining this new knowledge, Yanxi released several missiles from the shoulder armor of his armor, then unleashed a punch to propel the missiles forward, creating an unavoidable attack that overwhelmed the enemy. Meanwhile, Luo Feng, who seemed to still be hiding his true strength, continued to beat his enemies with his giant Yanshen weapon. Du Yao, who was feeling very excited about the battle, asked all members to gather the automaton puppets that had been disabled. He wanted to make the enemy feel angry because they had lost their puppets, which could not be recycled. The combination metal found inside the automaton puppets was the most valuable material. While a single piece was worth little, if they could obtain 1,000 pieces, they could buy a spaceship, and if they had 10,000, the potential was even greater. Clearly, Luo Feng and his team stood to gain a huge profit. The captain deemed Du Yao's plan excellent, and from now on, they would collect as many combined metals from the automaton puppets as possible, so that the enemies, feeling humiliated by their losses, would retreat on their own. In the midst of the battle, Wei could see that Luo Feng seemed to have achieved a high level of mental strength and control over his mental weapons. The proof was that Luo Feng was able to destroy the automaton puppets, which should have been quite difficult to fight against. Well, he didn't know that Luo Feng hadn't shown his true strength yet. The battle was still dominated by Taiwo's team, who were able to destroy many automaton puppets without any major obstacles. However, the tide of battle slowly began to turn when the enemy deployed silver automaton puppets with an F8 level. The purpose of these puppets was to weaken Captain Taiwo, who was considered the strongest member of the team. Automaton puppets of F rank alone had physical strength equivalent to immortal warriors. Therefore, Taiwo found himself in a difficult situation when facing the silver automaton puppets' attacks. Not only that, but the F8 automaton puppets grew even stronger when the E9 automaton puppets absorbed energy from the Thunder Prison and channeled it to the F8 automaton puppets. It is extremely difficult for Taiwo to survive when faced with 3,000 automaton puppet F8 that gain additional power from the Thunder Prison. Luo Feng's side is also forced to be more cautious, because aside from those attacking Taiwo, there are other automaton puppet F8 deployed to deal with Luo Feng and his team. Wei and his cat appear to be pushed back by the automaton puppet F8, as do Mainu, Yanxi, and Du Yao, who feel the same. If this continues, they will clearly be defeated. Meanwhile, Luo Feng seemed to be enjoying himself as he continued to beat up his enemies and was the last one surrounded by the F8 puppets. On Taiwo's side, even though he had unleashed an explosion of power around him as before, it wasn't enough. The enemies were able to return to their positions after being knocked back. After being continuously attacked by the enemies, Taiwo began to grow frustrated because the soulless puppets were difficult to deal with. Taiwo's frustration escalated when he discovered that Mainu, Duyao, Wei, Yanshi, and the cat were also under attack. They were all ambushed by the enemies, leaving each member unable to move freely. Luo Feng, who had been holding back his power, will finally show his true abilities. Before his hands and feet were captured by the enemy, he activated the 9th form of the Yanshen armament, known as Can Rival Immortals. The name of the 9th form is derived from its function. Luo Feng uses the laws of space and gold to fuse 10,081 blades into a 3.3-meter-long golden sword. The sword hovers in the air as if it were there and sometimes disappears. Well, the weapon can teleport to any location desired by its user. And this is what made the automaton puppets unable to dodge. Luo Feng, accompanied by the 9th form of Yanshen, continued to move, helping his comrades who were surrounded by enemies. After being rescued, Wei praised Luo Feng. The new member, who was thought to be a newbie, turned out to be very talented, exceeding his expectations. Luo Feng, who became the team's savior, headed to Taiwo's location, which was surrounded by the most enemies, and the battle continued. On the other hand, Palati, who was initially confident of victory, became frustrated because the analysis of the battle results turned out to be inaccurate. This had never happened before. Moreover, the team he was facing was just a small human race team. Of course, the failure occurred because Luo Feng was there. He didn't want to bear the increasing losses if the battle continued. In the end, Palati deactivated his Thunder Prison so that his automaton puppets could escape from there. Of course, Palati chose to retreat from the battle. After the battle ended and the journey resumed, Luo Feng was hugged by Mainu because he had become an unexpected trump card that the enemy had not predicted. Taiwo revealed that all of his members had responded well in the previous attack. And of course, Luo Feng was the fighter who surprised the captain. Meanwhile, Duyao thanked Luo Feng. He admitted that if he had strengthened his plants, he would have been able to do what Luo Feng did. When it came to talking, the kid didn't seem to want to lose. But secretly, he was the one who cared the most about his teammates. Taiwo teased him a little. In the past, when Duyao believed that Taiwo and Mainu had died in battle, he felt very sad. Duyao seemed embarrassed to tell the captain about that moment. When Taiwo's team was short-handed in the past, Duyao often took on multiple jobs to increase the team's survival rate. The captain understood that Duyao did it to prevent the past from repeating itself, especially since his closest teammate had been killed in a battle. However, now that Luo Feng and Yan Shi have joined Duyao's team, he won't have to carry the burden alone anymore. He can trust his teammates, who are now much stronger than before. All this time, Duyao had fought too hard, the captain said, which made the kids sad to tears. Duyao was very emotional. As Taiwo had said earlier, he often expressed his sadness, even though he kept those feelings bottled up inside. After a long journey, they finally arrived at Shattered Star, a belt of destroyed planets. It is said that this place was once a huge planet, with a diameter of more than tens of millions of kilometers. After being hit by the impact of the battle between humans and demons, the planet was turned into fragments. The planet collapsed and shattered repeatedly in endless wars that lasted hundreds of millions of years, until the scene that Taiwo's team now witnessed came to pass. Around the largest main planet, there was countless space debris. Among the fragments, many had become new planets. Due to the abundance of debris around the main planet, the area was extremely dangerous, as it was often used by various races as hiding places. Often, while fighting, the human race is harassed by creatures hiding among the debris. That's why small elite teams like Taiwo's are sent there, with the goal of destroying the enemy's hidden bases one by one. Not long after, the company issued the merit point quota, so members participating in the battlefield will receive merit points based on their strength differences to increase them. All they need to do is eliminate as many foreign races as possible. Before reaching the designated quota target, they must all comply with their tasks and carry out operations in Shattered Star. So what they need to do next is eliminate as many foreign race soldiers as possible and obtain as many merit points as possible afterward. From their current location, approximately 900 kilometers away, a wave of World Master energy was detected moving closer. Du Yao warned everyone to be careful because those who reached this place were not ordinary beings and would be hard to deal with. Suddenly, Mainu teased the little one, calling him by his cute nickname, Xiao Chenchen. It seems that Du Yao and Mainu often joked around to lighten the mood.
能来随行带的人生，即便是戒指，也不是好对付的。你怎么又？
太子行动了，大家出发。
And from here the operation will begin immediately. Taiwo's team began visiting enemies around the ruins of the planet and destroying them. They searched many foreign hideouts. However, it seems that they haven't encountered the insect race yet, guys. Despite this, Luo Feng has already prepared a large insect military force. Although they encountered some obstacles, the operation was proceeding fairly smoothly up to that point. The good news is that so far they haven't encountered any major threats. So, will the adventure continue smoothly like this in the next episode? To find out, let's wait for the next episode. Alright, thank you for watching until the end, and don't forget to support this channel with likes, subscribe, and comments. That's all from me. Bye.